The future, guys.
So one thing that's really interesting that we found that we'd like to talk about today is 3D printing.
That's right.
So 3D printing is exactly what it is. Imagine your printer where you put in a piece of paper, except you're putting in material that creates an actual 3D object. And that 3D object can be something as simple as a piece of plastic, or it can be something as complex as an actual living organism.
That's right. We're going to show you some photos and videos and just talk about some of the many possibilities that this technology brings up, the different materials you can print with, the different ways you can design and create objects just on any personal computer. We're going to talk about applications in medicine and in consumer electronics, in home building, and pretty much anything you can think of.
Yeah, the first thing really is just plastic. So when we're developing consumer electronics products, the first thing we do is we come up with a concept, and so that concept, because of the time to market constraints and because of product life cycles, which typically only last for about a year or less nowadays, we need to really streamline the development process. So we use 3D printing FDM machines to take drawings from the computer and instantly, within a matter of hours, bring them into real life so we can touch them and feel them and play with them and see if they're going to work, if that physical design is going to work. We combine the electronics in there and we can actually create a working prototype within a matter of hours, which is really interesting. So, here's some images of some projects that we've been working on recently. You can see that the material is kind of coarse and does have some edges to it, but it does a really great job of getting pretty close. We can actually use this technology to take drawings that engineers make and validate them to the sub-millimeter level. This is a picture of the actual machine that we use, the FDM machine that creates the 3D print. There's materials that you load into the printer, and then those materials actually, layer by layer, build the object. And once the object is built, you put the object in a bath, which basically dissolves the supports away from the object that are holding it in place while it's being made, and you're left with the actual real object that you created in the computer. And next, which is interesting that Tiago's kind of been researching, is applications in other fields such as medicine and building and so forth.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the cool applications that we've been seeing in the news. First of all, we have this story, and there's a picture of the photograph in the story of a woman who recently had a jaw transplant. She had her entire jaw replaced, and normally this prosthetic jaw, takes many weeks to produce. It's outrageously expensive, and frankly, it doesn't work all that well. This woman, she had her jaw replacement. The jaw was completely 3D printed. They were able to create virtually an exact copy of her jaw after scanning using different 3D scanners, her kind of jaw area. So the results were actually pretty amazing. Not only was it a more perfect fit than any mass-produced or normally produced part could create, there was also, because of the technological capabilities of 3D printing, they were able to actually create cavities and certain points where the muscles and tendons connect to the jaw, that those little parts, those little cavities, would be difficult or impossible to create using normal methods.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you just extrapolate this over the years when you add artificial intelligence into the mix, which can actually do a lot of thinking for the printer. You build the scale up of what this can be made for, and you look at these materials such as aluminum. Even just looking at a technology that exists today, which is extrusion processes for materials like aluminum. You extrapolate that with combined with 3D printing, and you can literally create cars. You can create buildings literally by printing them or extruding them in some fashion. So, what this means to you is 3D printing is here, and it's going to be all all over the place. Who knows? Maybe in the future, your food will be printed by the push of a button in your kitchen, and you'll be having a steak that literally did not exist minutes before you ate it.
Yeah, that's one of the most exciting applications these days. Is we're developing the capability to print biological material.
Mm-hmm.
So in the future, instead of having to have an artificial a heart or a pacemaker made of plastic and metal that you have to have in your body, literally running your body, no. You're going to have a literally custom made organ that was created using stem cells that were extracted from your own body. It's essentially as if your body is being given the capability and the tools to regrow parts of itself. We're just having to do that kind of in a lab and then put it into your body. But it's basically the best of both worlds and the perfect, most effective way to create healthy new organs.
That's right. So if you want to learn more about this topic, check us out, thefutureguys.com. We've got our Twitter account, which is thefutureguys. So check us out there. Be sure to like us on Facebook, and we will see you next week. And every week, we are the Future Guys. We'll see you later.